Hey everybody, what's up? This is Devin, LaVore, and
Michelle LaVore
coming at ya. Oh, you didn't do the thing.
I did.
The shoulder shrug. Oh, okay, I didn't see it.
I still got it in.
Cool. Awesome. So, the last couple days, Christmas Eve and Christmas, have been just kind of different days. But a lot of really awesome things have happened. So, yesterday, on Christmas Eve, first number I saw in the morning was 144. That's a supremely huge number for us.
Yeah.
And for that, that's never the first number we see.
No.
Like ever, right? And then I saw 1144, and right away I thought of John 11:44 that talks about Lazarus emerging from the tomb. That is literally the scripture.
Yeah.
That where Lazarus emerges from the tomb and they say, take off his grave clothes. Woo, I'm going to just keep going. Yeah. And then I saw the time. The first time I saw was 8:18. But there's two clocks around us. There's actually lots of clocks around us in this particular place. And I saw it at the same time. Because one of the clocks is usually a little off. But it had just happened to be that they were both at the same time. 8:18. And I felt like the Holy Spirit was like, both. You know, a double. And I was like, man, you will not get off this double thing, will you?
Yeah.
You know? And one of the things that struck me about the 8:18 time frame was the woman in Luke 13 who had been released from 18 years of physical bondage. And Jesus said that she had been held in the grip of Satan for 18 years. And I was like, whoa, hold on, let me get the baby. And here he is. Because you know he was just going to keep making noise until he got in here, right?
Yeah.
So I thought about that, and it was funny because I was like, Lord, Luke 13, that's not an 18. You know? Like,
yeah.
What is it? But it was about the woman who had been in bondage for 18 years. And I was like, okay, I see where you're going here. And I was like, can we get some more? I always want to know more. If God, I feel like God is speaking, I want to like exhaust him of everything he has to say to me about it. You know?
So then I started looking up just verses for 8:18 and came across Genesis 8 verse 18, and it was when Noah was released from the ark, which for us was also very significant because back in May we felt like God gave us a picture of how like our family is kind of like in an ark, you know, spiritually speaking, of like we're in an ark and God has to open the door for us to come out. And so it was just like, again, God speaking, release, opening of the door. Yeah,
and resurrection, coming out of the tomb and all of that stuff. Release from captivity, which was Psalm 68:6 talks about he leads the prisoners out to captivity, right? And then I was just scrolling through this Stephen Furtick, I think that's his name, from Elevation Church. And it said, and then I got the number 744. Like, as soon as I saw it on my Facebook Live, it was like 744, and it jumped out at me. Another huge, significant number for us. A number that talks to us about the end.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, God's been speaking about the end for 2 months. So eventually the end has to end. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, but it was cool because just above his live, like it was a countdown, you know, 744, 43, 42. And just above that, it says experience begins in, and I was just like, what? I was like, I'm having a Shelly L moment here, you know? I was like, that's crazy. Like, the experience begins in the end. I almost felt like that's what the Lord was saying. Like, the experience that you're looking for, that crossover lifestyle that you're looking for, it begins in the end. Yeah. And then, so I was like, okay, cool. And so it's like I felt the sense of, you know, saving the best for last. You know, it was like a last minute thing. I was like, oh man, here you go with the last minute thing. Okay, whatever. If you want to do a last minute thing, last second thing, as long as you do it, man, you know? Yeah. And we just feel like the Lord's saying, yeah, I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah, and that kind of just reminded us, like, the last minute or saving the best for last reminded us of when Jesus was at the wedding in Canaan, and he performed a miracle of turning water into wine. And I think what was significant about it is like when we first got that, I was struck with, well, one was that wine usually takes a long process. You know, especially if it's really good wine, it's been in its containers just fermenting for a very long time, years even. And that Jesus turned water into wine instantly.
Yeah.
And so there was just complete acceleration of the process. And he's been speaking acceleration this whole time to us. And
it wasn't just a couple bottles.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, oh, well, you'll get by. Everybody can have like a sip, you know. Right. No, he made...
Can you pass me my thimble?
Yeah, it was like he had them fill up 6 containers that each held anywhere from 20 to 30 gallons.
That's like upwards of 180 gallons
of wine that Jesus made.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah.
It's abundant. You know what I mean?
It's abundant, which again speaks to what God has been speaking of, like abundance and like overflowing with the promises. That this isn't just going to be you barely get by. No, it's
you squeak by for this week and you squeak by for that week. It's like
no, you're going to have your cup running over.
Right. And the cool thing about that for me is like when I first launched out and God really just started to grow my YouTube channel, it was from a prophetic word that I gave called it's time for everything to be reversed. And I just felt that in the spirit, man. It's time for everything to be reversed. And I got a vision about that. It was very crystal clear. It was almost like a waking dream. And I was like, wow, that's going to be really awesome. And I feel like we really are literally, when we talk about the end, that's what the end is talking about. That's the vision, the fulfillment of that prophetic vision. And I gave that on May 15th. Well, the next one I gave was water to wine.
Yeah.
Like Jesus is going to turn our water into wine. I just knew he was going to do that at some point. Naturally, I hope it was going to be by the end of May.
Yeah.
Well, here's is the end of December.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I think you've taught me a little bit more about the prophetic than I really knew at that time of giving that word. Kind of almost validates, like, you knew it had to have been from the Lord. Because I just didn't know. I just was hearing from the Lord, and I was just like, this is what I feel like God is saying. And it's just like, it's significant to us. It's like the water to wine thing, you know? And so God was speaking that yesterday, and naturally, we get attacked on it. You know, we get hit up on it. And it's just like with the same old stuff. God's not going to come through. It's not going to happen the way you think. Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. And it's just like, no. God taught us when we got like 15 14s in one day. Yeah. We got the double 14s and everything. And God was like, I am declaring release over your life. And it was like, well, a couple weeks later, we moved here. Right?
It's like 2 weeks later, 12 days or something like that.
Yeah, and it was a little less than 2 weeks and we moved here. So it was just like, I was like, okay, like, Lord, I hear that you were speaking not just release to move here to another location, because in a sense, we're still living that ark life.
Yeah. We're
still kind of in the tomb. We're still kind of bent over with this impoverished lifestyle in a sense of like, you know, when you first start a business or a ministry or whatever, but when you're doing it the way we're doing it, man, we are like, that's why you have to know, like, when we say we are amazed and we're blessed by what you guys give to us out of your lives, it comes from a very deep place of appreciation. Yeah. But it's like but that's just not our vision, you know, to do this. And I don't think that's the vision that God's given us. I mean, not to diss anyone who's doing that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of ministries operate off of offerings and all that stuff. But like the vision that we have from the Lord is just to be suppliers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to be supplied, but it's like, it's great to go through this first because you really get a deep heartfelt, you get God's heart on what you're giving to and why you're giving and what it means to a person when you give to the person. It's huge. So basically what we did is we came into agreement. Like we did with the 14s, we're coming into agreement, Lord, with what you're speaking about resurrection. You know, that's a big deal. You're calling us out of the ark. You're releasing us from our financial bondage.
Yeah.
You know, for that, because that's something we've prayed for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, for God to have mercy on us and just lift us up and bless us financially and in some way or another, you know. And he said yes. He's like, I am going to give you mercy. I'm going to do this for you. And I'm like, that's amazing. So we're looking for that, you know. And of course, the enemy tries to attack it.
Yeah.
And then we got an email from someone, and it had the references because they were like looking at some of our other videos and they were piecing things together. And basically, it came up with a 2323. And we have received that number many times.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to a Numbers 23:23 that talks about that, like, it was the time during when Balaam was being hired to curse Israel because he was a prophet for hire. Oh man, don't get me started on that. But it was like, what does it say in Numbers 23:23? Oh, that's right. It said like, you can't curse them. Not only is there going to be no divination and enchantment against them, but there's going to come a time, and even now, where the people will say, what has God done? Or what has God wrought is what it says. But it's one of those like, wow, look at what he's done. You know, again, that's not some little thing, right? Yeah. And so, after getting that, and I had to run an errand, right? I had to run an errand, and I'm going down this street in Nashville, and there's this huge 2323 on the side of this building. Now, I thought I had seen that on a 777 video that I'd done, but it was actually a much smaller than I thought. No, this was real. It was right there on the building. 2323, that's our address. I guess they wanted all of Nashville to know that they were right there in that location. Yeah. But I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I was like, Lord, okay, we got to figure out what this 2323 is, because it was like, okay, you didn't really give it the attention you needed to give it from the email. Now I'm screaming it at you. Yeah. And it's like, okay, and lo and behold, we get to 23, and it means death and resurrection. Yeah. I about fell over because I was like, dude, that's what you've been speaking. You know, release from death, from, or just a resurrection, you know? I was talking to the Lord about that tonight with my body. I was just like, Lord, I remember the days when I was the fitness guy. Now I'm the fatness guy. And it's like, Lord, I need a resurrection, you know? Yeah. That's what I mean by resurrection. It's like those dead things, the things that once were very alive that are no longer. It's like, man, we need a resurrection. And it's like, and so it was just really cool yesterday to have that. And then our God time yesterday ended at 11:11 again. Yeah. 11:11 a.m. For the fourth time that happened. And then today, as we're starting God time, take a look at this. Yep. You're seeing it properly. It's 11:11. We started, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is just crazy." So that's what God was speaking to us yesterday: was release from bondage, resurrection. Like I'm talking like a mighty work of power, a mighty miracle, you know. And Noah being released from the ark. Really, it was just really, really cool.
So yesterday we ended on that amazing note of just like. Resurrection, like God He is ready to bring forth life. We just really felt like He's like, yes, speak that. And today we were actually, me personally, I was hit pretty hard, you know, the enemy coming against. And even yesterday we started in the evening hours, we were feeling just this like
it's like, oh, that's heaviness. What you're praying, that's what you're declaring. Yeah. Well, I'm going to come in with my own mighty rushing wind of negativity and all that stuff, and it's just like, dude, no.
It's like no. and so today was for me a very like stretching, difficult day of okay, you know what, I gotta fight, I gotta believe what God has spoken.
Well, once again, did you get the victory?
I did.
Yes, you did.
And
you already had it.
And so it was really awesome, like this afternoon, God was speaking. And we watched Ryan LeStrange, his Monday Word.
Mega awesome.
So you should definitely watch it. We'll have it linked below. And it was basically, he's speaking about like God wants to do this mega thing in your life. You know,
ready for the mega.
He's like, you know, so arise your faith, basically. Have mega faith for what God is doing. And he spoke about inheritance, which God has been speaking to us about.
For a long time.
And just like the again, God brought up again the resurrection and the release and all of those things. And it was just like, it was so good. It was very just like, yes, like, this is what
sometimes
we're believing
the only way you can describe it is like, yeah. You know?
And so we were just coming into agreement with that. And then as we were, we got a little whiteboard because we miss our big whiteboard because
we do.
It's really good to write things down, but to also be able to see them because we have our journal, but you know, you don't constantly have your journal out.
It's more for posterity.
Yeah.
You don't. Let's read through the journal. We don't do that.
No.
We should.
We should, yeah. But so we had this, and we were writing down just kind of what God has been speaking to us since we've gotten here to just really hone it in. And you know, the first night we were here, God was very much speaking like reward. There is a reward, and then he was talking to us about his extravagant love and how his word is truth. And do you trust me? And do you believe me? And then yesterday about the resurrection and release. And he was reminding me about like the demonstration of his love. I mean, really today, Christmas Day, marks a demonstration of God's love. Because
demonstration.
He became, you know, a baby. He was born, and
Jesus was this old once.
I know, kind of crazy.
Snotting and having colds and such.
Yeah. Poor guy.
All of our family is sick right now.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
No, but kind of part of the process sometimes when you
move to another place
and you're around a lot of germs that you're not used to being around.
Yeah.
But it was just like God is like, I'm demonstrating my love. And so then, as we were writing things down, I wrote down Christmas miracle because that was a word that we had received from Lana Vosser, and we really felt like that was for us
and
too.
And then we still need to be tarrying. Yeah. We still need to be waiting and expecting for that.
And
can we tell them what Joah prayed?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Joah, our firstborn son. He was really bad last night as far as sickness, but he was just like, I don't want to miss God time. I don't want to miss out. And so they're like, okay, buddy, yeah, you can be a part of it. Absolutely. It's a family thing we do. And so he usually prays like his certain kind of prayer. But yesterday it was a completely different prayer. And he was talking about our home. The first thing he prayed was like, God, would you please just deliver us and release us into our home?
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa, okay, he's actually really praying right now. You know, because normally it's like this recited prayer and you're going, oh, that's nice, buddy.
Yeah.
But he's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, he's tapping in. And then he said, I pray that our expectancy would shine.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, dude. So I thought that was just really cool.
It was.
His prayer was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was almost like the highlight of my day because it was kind of a hard day.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it just through with my 7-year-old, God was like, be expectant.
Yeah.
You know, expect something amazing, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was awesome.
Which it goes along with the word about mega faith. Like, expect God to do huge, amazing things.
A mega manifestation.
And so it was so crazy because I'm writing down Christmas miracle. And as I'm writing it down, I had written the word Christmas, and I was about to write miracle. I heard in the other, the kids were watching
the Croods
on TV, and it was the very end of the movie, and he the father in the movie, Grug, says, "Release the baby," and it just like hit me. I was like, oh, that is a word from the Lord.
Yeah,
like,
you were
yes.
Like, that is a word from the Lord.
It was like, release the baby, like, release the promises. Like, I just felt like it was, and the way he said it in the movie, it was like this
very strong,
intense, like, intense, like, yes, release the baby.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I actually thought it was at the beginning of the movie, because he does say that in the beginning, but it was actually at the very end of the movie that he again says, release the baby, and then it goes in basically almost right into the credits. It ends. Yeah. And I was like, yes, that is what we've been waiting for. We're waiting for the end of this season, this book that God has been writing in our lives this whole year. And it's like, yes, so like God's like declaring like, yes, I want to release the baby. I want to bring this to an end. Yeah. And it's going to be one of those like, hey, surprise, like look what I'm doing, surprise, like you know, because it goes with at the end of the movie they oh yeah, I'm calling it the end. And it's dun, like, dun, dun. And we were just like picturing Jesus. Like dun, 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 surprise.
Well, you know what? And back when one of my subscribers was called Violet Storm 117, she had that idea. She was like, I just feel like in the end it's gonna be like, you're just walking into your house, or we are, like, as all of us who are believing for these promises, it's going to be like walking into your house and everyone's waiting there and they're yelling, surprise!
Yeah.
And when she wrote that, I was like, that is from the Lord.
Yeah.
I really felt like that was like, whoa, that is true. I bet that's actually what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's just going to be this sense of like, because that's what a suddenly is. A suddenly is a surprise.
Yeah.
You know? Being ambushed by blessing. I'm down. Anybody else?
Yeah. And so it was just really cool. And then as soon as that movie was over, there's another movie that came on, and it was Home. And I was just like kind of struck by that as well, because I'm like, home, like surprise, like it's the end, it's like home, yes, like yes, like we want it. That's what we've been praying for, you know, that God would plant us, because you know, in many visions that God has given us is like our family as a tree, and he has been growing our tree, and all along he's been showing us like it's growing, and he's, you know, just been adding to our tree. But he said a while back, actually, like it's time to be planted. It
was just before we moved. It was probably around that same time, wasn't it?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No. It was a while ago. Okay. It's another one of those 2-month words.
Okay. Either way, he said it's time to be planted.
He said it's time to be planted. And
always good to have a partner.
And so it was just like, it's like, yes, like now really is the time for us to be planted, like to be rooted, to be established in the place that he has us. And so it's just like,
and now we're here.
So he can really do that. He can plant us, and that has to do with for us the house and really just being established here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know, it's very exciting to hear kind of what God is doing, and he really is on the move. This is still the Christmas season, and he is going to do a big surprise. And we don't know when or how or anything like that, but it's like he's going to be like, surprise.
Yeah. So that's our Christmas video for you guys. So,
and hopefully you guys all had an awesome Christmas and enjoyed your day with your families. And
I mean, you might get this on Christmas, but I doubt it.
Yeah, it'll probably be more like
tomorrow,
but
you know. But we hope you guys had a great Christmas. We've been sick and battling sickness for the past 3 days, but it didn't dampen anything.
No, I think
we kind of knew, like, okay, well, we're just kind of going with the flow of the Lord. He's got a Christmas for us.
Yes.
Coming, and I've noticed you can get a lot of the best deals after Christmas.
Yeah.
Before Christmas, stuff be expensive. I'm I'm like, what in the world? Why is this so expensive? And it's just like, anyway, I'm going to go on a rant. Go on a rant. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah,
I think we're good, man.
So until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye. Be encouraged. Stay in faith.
Yes.